Ottawa Today with Mark Sutcliff on 1310 News and simulcast on Rogers Television. Mark will be right back. The conversation continues on Ottawa Today with Mark Sutcliff on 1310 News and simulcast on Rogers TV.
Many people in the community were encouraged to see the outcome of the SIU's investigation into the death of Abdirahman Abdi. They were happy to see that there were charges laid against an Ottawa police officer. But there are still many questions about this case, and this process itself, the criminal trial, may not produce all the answers that many people are looking for. Ketcia Peters is the co-chair of the Community and Police Action Committee, and she's already commented, I quoted her yesterday, saying that there are no winners in this kind of scenario, that it's a challenging time for everyone involved. And she joins us on Ottawa Today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for joining us. And tell me what you've been hearing from the people you've talked to since the charges were announced earlier this week.
The main things that I've been hearing is that the community feel that by having a recommendation to charge the officer, SIU is setting a precedent to send a strong message that this type of behavior, if the officer is being convicted of wrongdoing, that this type of behavior will not be tolerated, and it's not acceptable.
But obviously, we're only at the stage of charges. Is everyone going to be waiting to see what the verdict is? Is that ultimately what they're watching for?
Absolutely. I think this case is going to be very close to the community, the Ottawa community's heart, and they are going to follow the case very closely because, as I said, this is going to set a precedent moving forward.
Yeah. And you know the stats. You know that quite often when there are charges that they don't lead to a conviction, that there have been many other cases in Ontario where people have not been satisfied with the outcome. Are you worried about that in this case?
Yeah, because we never really have known the reports and the results of the SIU's recommendation report are usually not always publicized. We don't always know the details of how they conduct their investigation and how they come to those conclusions. But in this case, there's been several evidence in terms of publicized. There were testimonies. There were a lot of witnesses who testified. There were several evidence in terms of videotape showing some of what took place that day. So we feel because of that the outcome and the result in the court of law may be different this time.
The court will not decide everything, of course, to do with this. What are some of the other unresolved issues that you feel still need to be dealt with?
Some of the comments I hear from the community is to also, they also wonder whether the other officer who was also involved should also be charged. So, like I said again, because we don't know the full details of the investigation and what evidence were actually who actually surfaced, we can't tell whether or not there should be other charges or exactly whether or not the right decision was exactly made for this situation. But the community is going to follow closely this case, and hopefully the outcome will be satisfactory.
How would you describe the relationship between the people you talk to and the Ottawa Police Service? Has this event damaged the relationship?
Yeah, originally when this incident first occurred, it was very difficult for me to try to educate the community about letting the due process of the SIU investigation take its course. The community was really emotional, and they wanted to see results right away. So it was really difficult for members of Compact to be able to walk that thin line between representing their community, but also trying to educate the community about the difficult job that the police force has to do.
Yeah, I guess you're in the position of representing your community to the police, but also representing the police to your community to some extent, right?
what I feel like our role is to actually try to build that gap, bridge that gap, and also build a relationship or even create a relationship from scratch. Some members would say that some community members say, well, we don't even have a relationship with the police. So what do you mean building, improving the relationship? So I feel like our role is to try to build that bridge between the community and the police. So informing the community about the restrictions and of the auto police, and also to promote the work that the auto police is doing every day for our community at large. Their task, their job is very difficult, and we sometimes we have expectations that may not be reasonable. So as a member of Compact, it's my duty. I feel to educate the community about those restrictions, and also to try to promote a way of doing things, of doing police work in partnership with the police.
What else can we do as a community to close that gap?
Be involved. When the police is really, auto police is really trying hard to reach out to the community. They're extending a hand. So let's meet them halfway. Come out when they're trying to share information on how they want to do their work moving forward. Provide recommendations. Provide reports on the different concern that you may have or the concern that the community has. So as long as the auto police is willing to listen and to actually have an open mind, then the community should meet them halfway and wanted to work together. We want to promote that community policing model. I believe it's the way to move forward, is the way to go. We have to do this together. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And
you feel that the Ottawa Police are receptive to that?
I believe so. I believe the leadership of the Ottawa Police are taking the step forward to wanted to at least listen to what the community has to say and try to change the way they do things. They want to try to improve. It's not easy. The Ottawa Police has a certain culture that's been set for a long time, but as long as they're open to at least considering a different way of doing things, then I think that we're moving towards the right direction.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your thoughts. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the call.
Ketcia Peters is community co-chair of the Community and Police Action Committee. And if you have any comments on that or anything else we've been talking about, you can email me anytime at ottawatoday@1310news.com. I just want to come back to our previous guest for a moment.